YouTube pays me a ridiculous amount of money per 1,000 views I get. The good part is, you can do the same, and this entire blueprint will reveal how. First of all, we must understand YouTube earnings. So the CPM is what is referred to as how much advertisers pay for 1,000 impressions. Then we have RPM, which stands for revenue per mil, which is how much money you make per 1,000 views, aka how much money you actually get to keep. So first of all, where does the difference come from between these two? Well, it's actually quite simple. Not every single view on YouTube is monetized, so not everyone that clicks on your video will get to see an ad, which means that you don't make money for that view, but also the advertiser is not spending any money, which will leave a gap. Second of all, YouTube will take 45%. So out of the CPM, this is how much money the advertiser spends. YouTube will take 45% and 55% will go to you, making up your RPM. However, there's a big difference between how much YouTube pays me per 1,000 views and the average. This is how much I make per 1,000 views. What you can see in this video is $118, which is quite insane. So with just 6,000 views, I'm able to make $739. The average YouTuber makes about $4 per 1,000 views. So my video there makes 30 times as much money, which you can imagine the impact of that. It's huge. So advertisers love to spend all their money on my videos. But why? That is the main question. They sometimes spend all the way up to hundreds of dollars to get in front of just 1,000 people. You can see that this is the CPM on a few of my top performing videos on the channel, and you can see that they spent $231, $343, $410 to get in front of just 1,000 people. That is the average they're spending to do so. Because of that, the amount of money that some videos make on my channel are in the hundreds of dollars per month, which will add up quite nicely. But the main question is, why? What do I know that you don't know that makes it that YouTube pays me so much money per 1,000 views? So I can pretend I have some dark knowledge about YouTube that I'm hiding in this safe right here and that I won't reveal so that they give me premium ad rates in exchange, but that is simply not true. That would be a lie. The fact is that anyone can do this, and it works instantly. No matter what kind of content you make right now, you can change it up from today on and they will start paying you a lot more money. But in order to understand how, we first must understand where the RPM comes from. So on YouTube, you've got an advertiser. The advertiser has a budget that they can spend to run YouTube ads with the goal to make profit. That is how YouTube advertising works. So how much of their budget they're willing to spend depends on the profit they can make back in return, which means the more profit an advertiser can make when running ads on your videos, the more they are willing to pay, which leads to a higher RPM for you, which means you make more money per 1,000 views. So here's a quick question for you. Based on the numbers below, on which video do you think advertisers want to spend their money? We've got video 1 with a return of 1.5x. So for every dollar they put in, they'll get back $1.50. Then video 2, a return of 0.8, 1.7, 3.7, 1.7, and 2.2. So out of these, which do you think advertisers want to spend their money on? Well, if we scroll down, the obvious winner would be video 4 with a 3.7x return. However, that wouldn't be the only answer because video 1, 3, 4, 5, and 6 will all be profitable for the advertiser, which only leaves video 2 that they'd rather not spend their money on because it doesn't convert and it doesn't make them money. However, that is not the full picture because video 6 with a 2.2x return can still have a higher RPM than video 4 with a 3.7 return. So return on ad spend, so how much money they make back from running ads on your videos, is looked at in percentages. However, that is not really what we should look at if we must want to figure out how to get in higher RPM. We should look at the dollar amount profit, from now on DAP, an advertiser will make if we want to estimate which video will have a higher RPM. Instead of just looking at the returns right here, we should look at the conversion amount, so how much the advertiser makes for a sale that they will get, as well as the acquisition cost, so how much money it takes them, how much money they need to spend in order to get one conversion. So let's take a look at these two scenarios right here. In scenario 1, the conversion amount will be $10. Realistically, that means that the acquisition cost should be anything less than $10 to leave a profit. In scenario 2, the conversion amount is $1,000, which means that the acquisition cost should be anything less than $1,000 to leave a profit. Now let's put actual numbers in place there. So let's say that in scenario 1, the acquisition cost would be $6. That would mean that the advertiser would make a $4 profit right there. In scenario 2, the acquisition cost is $200, which is a lot more. However, because the conversion amount is higher, they'll have an $800 profit. So in these two scenarios right here, the advertiser is willing to spend less for one conversion than in scenario 2, where they're going to be willing to spend more for one conversion simply because the profit per conversion is much higher. Which means the higher the dollar amount profit an advertiser gets when running ads on your video, the higher your RPM will be because they're willing to spend more to get one conversion. And that right there is the key to why YouTube pays me so much. I make content that makes advertisers big money. And now you're wondering, Youri, what are those kind of videos? So let's take a look at high RPM video ideas, one of which is software. First of all, the dollar conversion amount for a software usually is pretty high. What is also good is that they have a high lifetime value, which leads to a high dollar amount profit for the company. Because softwares are often recurring, which means that once someone buys it, they will continue to use it and have to pay every single month to do so, which leads to a lot of money made by that company. Examples of this are Shopify, MailChimp, Slack, Square, Monday.com, Asana, Xero, and the list goes on and on. All of these are SaaS companies, software as a service, that are recurring based. So customers have to pay every single month a pretty high ticket price, which means the companies make a lot of profit per conversion. So logically, that way, they're willing to spend top dollar to get in front of the audience that will convert to sales on these companies. And the same goes for courses. So once again, high dollar conversion amount. Courses are often being sold for $1,000, $3,000, $5,000, whatever the price would be. Then they also have a high lifetime value because within these programs, they will often do an upsell, which means they buy the normal course, but then they've got some special coaching program that will cost more money and more money and more money, which once again leads to a lot of money made by the advertiser, a high dollar amount profit. Examples of this would be making content about Amazon FBA, Shopify dropshipping, YouTube automation, SaaS, SMMA, copywriting, affiliate marketing, and the list goes on, because these are business models where gurus are advertising so that they can get in front of the audience that then converts into a sale for their course. So if you want to figure out ideas for this, what I recommend you do is you watch online business content on a US VPN to see what gurus try to sell. Most of the time, advertisers are running the most ads in the United States because that's where most people spend money. So if you put your VPN in the US location, you can get ads from there and see what they're trying to sell you, then reverse engineer that and make videos about it, what it is that they are trying to sell. You get the audience they want, and then because of that, they're going to spend amazing money to get in front of the audience on your videos, which leads to a lot of money per 1,000 views. Another category would be legal. Once again, high dollar conversion amount. These are often very serious services. There's not really like lawyers you can get for just $10 an hour. It's going to be a lot of money. So things that you can make videos about here are LLCs, like how to set up an LLC. You can make content about lawyers, accounting, corporate structures, and probably the list goes on and on. These are just a few that I know of that do indeed have a lot of money per 1,000 views in them. Another one is finance. This is actually one of the best ones out there. Once again, high dollar conversion amount. You can make videos about the stock market, crypto trading, personal finance, real estate, fintech companies. Once again, the list goes on. And within each of these categories that I'm listing here, you probably have dozens of platforms, dozens of websites, dozens of topics that you can cover. Another one with insane money in it is web building. Once again, high dollar conversion amount. Often will be subscription based as well, so recurring every month, which means that these companies make a lot of money for one conversion, which leads to them paying a lot of money to get in front of that audience. Website builders is a great category. Domain names, coding, development, that could be software development, website development, the list goes on and on. However, does that mean that you should make these videos regardless of whatever you do right now? Not specifically. I mean, this is what I do on a few of the channels that I own, but I build these channels on the side focused on this kind of content. I wouldn't start posting these kind of videos on my personal channel that you're watching right now just for the sake of getting a higher RPM. Because probably if I upload a video about Slack, you guys are not going to watch that. which means my views will go down. Yes, the RPM is higher, but if I don't get views, I won't make more money. So don't make these videos regardless of whatever you do now. Just provide what your audience wants, or start building these kind of channels on the side. First of all, ask me any questions in the comments down below about CPM, RPM, how I make so much money per 1,000 views. I will do my best to answer all of them. And then second of all, let me know what you think about this video style where I make this kind of like roadmap, blueprint, presentation kind of thing. Let me know if you like that, and maybe I'll make more.